Hello Stampers, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. Thanks for joining me again on this Monday morning for another Mystery Monday video and project. So today we are going to focus on this Christmas season stamp set, which is part of the Painted Christmas bundle in the mini. It starts on page 16. So here are some fabulous samples, and this is the one bundle that we are going to use today. It's the Christmas season stamp set and the seasonal dies, and that is available as a bundle at 10% off. And then we're also going to use some of these gold holly leaves and this fabulous Painted Christmas designer series paper. So it continues on the following pages, so you can take a look at that. And this is the stamp set, Christmas season, and these are the seasonal labels dies. So you get quite a few dies in the bundle, and the stamps are actually, the images are printed on the back sheets, so we can just stick them right on those images to make sure that they don't get lost or misplaced. So that's awesome. All right, so the card we are going to do is going to use some of that Painted Christmas designer series paper, and I just wanted to show it to you quickly. 12 sheets, 2 of 6 different patterns. So the front side has a lot of sort of holly and spruce and holly berries. There's some pine cone images, some other beautiful pine cone and spruce images. This would make for a great wrapping paper, I think. And then some more holly, some more spruce, and some more of the spruce and a lot of the holly. And then on the back, we have some pretty bright patterns going on. This one, which is sort of, I'm not sure which color that is, but if you're never sure, always check on the back of your DSP, because there's a whole listing here of all the colors that are in the DSP that you can use to coordinate with your card bases and inks. So there's Calypso Coral, Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Evening Evergreen, Garden Green, Pear Pizzazz, Real Red, Soft Seafoam, and Soft Succulent. So there's a lot of different colors going on in this DSP. And here's just some leaf images, some beautiful, very subtle holly, some more spruce, some more of the reds, and some more greens here. So some really pretty paper. And the card we are going to do is this one. It's actually a fun fold card that I got inspiration from Patty Bennett, who is one of the top demos in the US, and she recently celebrated her $2 million sales milestone. And when that happens, well, actually when you reach your first million, but she's at 2 million now, you are invited to head office at Stampin' Up, and you get to spend the day doing some stamping. They create a stamp set for you, etc. So she actually stamped and created this version of the card with Sarah and Shelley, and I did mine a little bit different, but I really liked the fun fold features. So you open it up this way, and then you open it up this way. And so you've got room for a message. Down here, you could write another greeting. You could even make it into like a pocket where you could put a gift card, or if you didn't want to stamp, you could put like your family photo here, or a quick little newsletter of what's happened in the past year. Just a really neat fun fold, I thought. So I'm going to walk you through this from start to finish. We'll do some stamping, and I'll show you how we create that fun fold. So I'm going to bring up my stamping trimmer, and the base I used was a piece of Pear Pizzazz. So what we are going to do is do some scoring. So you need one piece of paper for the card. So on the 8.5-inch side, we are going to score that in half at 4 1/4. Okay, so don't use your black blade, that's your cutting blade. You want to use the lighter one, which is your scoring blade. And then on the other side, the 11-inch side, we're gonna do that in half as well at 5 1/2, and we're gonna score that. So basically you are scoring in half on each side, okay? So you could use your paper trimmer for the next step or just a pair of scissors, which is what I'm going to do. So on the 11-inch side, where these score lines are, you are going to cut off this bottom left panel. So you're just going to cut on that score line, or like I said, if you wanted to use your paper trimmer, you could do that as well. And you're just going to remove this right on the score line here. And then you can use this for another project. Okay, so now your base looks like this. So now what we can do is fold on all of those score lines to create our base. Okay, and if it's a little bit off, you can just sort of try to straighten that out with your bone folder. And then you have your fold. Okay, so we're gonna fold it up and fold it over. So that is our front fold. Super, super simple. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is on the front, I've used some of that Designer Series paper. So I'm going to stick this down on the front panel. And then what we're going to do is cut out our front label. So this is the Painted Christmas. It's 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm just going to put this on first, and you could use any of that designer paper from the package. There's a lot of great patterns you could choose. Okay, so we'll stick that down. So now what we want to do is we want to create this opening here. And to do that, we're going to use one of the dies. So we have these two label dies in the coordinating set. So I'm going to use the larger one. And I'm just gonna run to my die cutting machine, and I'm gonna center this and cut this out. Now when I do that, of course we have all these layers. So what you're gonna do is just open your card and put your die on like this and run it through your die cutting machine. That way you're not trying to get it through all these layers, and you don't want to cut on these bottom layers. You just want to cut out of the top. So I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so now we have this piece cut out, right? So I centered my piece, and we are not going to throw this away. We're going to use this on the inside. Okay, so I can put this die away. All right, so now we're going to do some decorating in here. So on here, we are going to add some Whisper White, Basic White. So you're going to cut 3 pieces of Basic White cardstock at 5 1/4 by 4, because you want one on this panel and this panel and this panel, because this will be the panel that you will see when the card is closed. Okay, so I've pre-stamped 2 of them, but I'll show you how I stamp them, and I'm going to stamp them all the same. So the images I used are this large holly branch, I guess, or greenery. I used the single spruce, but there is a double, and I use the small holly berries. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Pear Pizzazz, and I'm just going to stamp in the 2 corners. Okay, so let me open up my Pear Pizzazz. And this is, I re-inked this not too long ago, so I'm actually going to stamp and then stamp off. You could possibly just use soft seafoam too. That's a lighter green. Okay. And just wherever you would like these to go. And then I'm going to do the other corner. And if you cut off part of the image or stamp part of it off, that's fine. Okay, so there's my greens, my Pear Pizzazz. Now I'm going to come in with Garden Green. And I'm going to stamp my little spruce branches in the Garden Green. And that I will do at full strength. So I'm just going to do that in the center here, just for a little bit of contrast. So, okay, so I've got 2 of those. And then I will do my berries. So I'm going to use Real Red for the berries. And whatever you would like. I'm just going to put them like on top of these lighter green berries here. You could even add a few more if you wanted. Just to give it a little bit of a contrast color happening here. Okay, so that is my red. All right, now I have done the other panels as well. Okay, so we've got 3 of those happening. So now we can put these on. The only thing is on this center one, when you open it up, I want to still put another greeting, right? So maybe I will stamp that first before we put this together. So I'm just going to grab one of my panels. And again, I'm going to use the Real Red. And for this sentiment, I pulled out the Holly Jolly Wishes stamp set, which is also in the mini. So I think I am going to use It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year for this one. So we will ink that up in the Real Red and just sort of center that like so. I think the red with the green, that looks really good. Okay, so let's put this on first. Now, see, I tried to do this before and it didn't turn out like I wanted, so you flip your paper over and try again. So let's put this on the inside. And then we'll put one panel down here. Let's do that. And then we'll put the one on this panel that we are going to see when the card is closed. Okay, so we will put this on here. Now, what we want to do is have that other greeting in here, right? Because when we cut out our center, it was to see this greeting in there. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to take the piece that we cut out and we're going to put some adhesive on this. Close your card and make sure this is going the right direction, like the way you cut it out. Okay, your paper will match up. So you're just going to lay it in that space that you cut out and press down. And then when you open it up, it will be attached to your first layer there, okay? Now I would recommend laying this down flat like I just did with the adhesive and not on dimensionals, because the dimensionals I think would get caught when you're trying, like this flap would get caught under here when you're trying to open and close it. So what we're going to do then is I've pre-stamped this Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. And this is also from the Holly Jolly Wishes. So Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Not quite like the song says, but pretty close. So this I will pop up with some dimensionals. And we will just put 3 of these. See, I've already done some other stamping that didn't quite turn out. So, like I said, turn your paper over. No need to waste it. So to center this, I am going to close my card again and then lay this right inside, trying to match up those little scallops and center it like so. So that's fairly straight. It's a little bit off, but not too bad. I'm not going to fiddle too much with it. So then when you open it, ta-da, there you go. So last thing, we're going to just decorate the front a teeny bit, and we're going to do that with our gold holly leaves, which are part of the suite. And we're going to add those with some glue dots. So there are some larger leaves and smaller ones. I've used some of these already, so they aren't all in this package anymore. But we need to get in here 30. So you get 15 large and 15 small. And then I'm just going to attach those with some glue dots. So I'm going to put one here, a large one, and then I'm going to grab a smaller one beside it. Oh, got 2 stuck here. Just to kind of bling up the front a little bit. I mean, you don't have to either. This DSP, you know, depending on the pattern that you choose, might be enough. Okay, so we'll put one there, and then we put another one on the other opposite side. Now, if you want, just to be careful that you're not getting it on the inside, you can just unfold that flap. Just so you don't get it on the inside panel there. Let's see if I can get another one off of this spool. Nope, I have to open a new spool, which is fine. I think I have some more here. Or do I? Yes, I think I do right here. All right, so grab one more glue dot, and we'll take this first one here. Oops, make sure I get it on the right side. Okay. All right, I'll put this last one here, and then I'm just going to add a couple of the red rhinestone jewels for the berries. And I will add an odd number here. So I'm going to put one there, one beside, and one in the center, like so. And then I'll do the same on this one here. And then one more, just sort of in the center, like so. Okay, and that adds even more bling there. All right, so then when you close it, there is your card. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and then you can write your greeting here. So I hope you enjoyed that fun fold card. It's very simple to do. And it makes for, you know, a neat little card to give to somebody using this Painted Christmas Suite. So I do have a host code for October. last week to use this. We're heading into our last week of October. Hard to imagine. October host code SQ2KTQ4M, and you're welcome to use that at checkout on my website at christineludwig.stampinup.net. Facebook, Pinterest, and also now YouTube. You can follow me at Christine Stamping Spot. So I hope you have a wonderful week and that you enjoyed that project. Enjoy your last week of October. Hopefully we'll still have some nice weather this week, even though the weekend was a little bit wet and soggy. But we will see you again next time. Bye for now.